Welcome, students of 3B, and we're still talking about institutions, and this is part two of two videos about institutions, and then mainly about institutional organizations, like for instance, a baseball organization or the church, the Catholic Church, or for instance, what to think about it, another religious organization, a Hindu organization from India, or uh, a gaming organization. So they're like institutions. The Padvinderij, that's also an institution that I'm talking about, is well known on the island of Curaçao. So institutions, and this can be found in chapter 2, and to be precise, is paragraph 3. We're talking about institutions, and if you have your book, please take your book in front of you. That will be really helpful that we know what we are talking about. And like you knew, each chapter also has a learning outcome. And the learning outcome of this chapter is as follows. You have to be able to define and use and outline. And what must you define? What must you use? Terms in relation to various institutions. So terms used in relation to various institutions. And we're now talking about this, the characteristics of each type of institution. What are the characteristics? We're talking about those. In the former video, we talked about, for instance, hierarchy. We talked about different roles. We talked about membership requirements. And now we're going to continue with symbols in this video. So we're talking about the characteristics of each type of institution, and you must be able to outline those that you see. Let's continue. Institutional organization. An organization that is an institution is a secondary social group and a formal social group. As such, an organization has a number of characteristics. Ding Hollandes, eigenschappen, ding papimento kwaliteit naam, aspecten naam. And this one is symbols. We're talking about symbols right now. Institutions sometimes have marks of identity, so symbols. Institutions sometimes have marks of identity, and such marks may be seen in the clothing of members or in the use of specific symbols. For instance, the Hells Angels, a biker gang, has like a colbert or like a jacket. Jacket is a better word. And at the back of the jacket, you can see there are like illustrations on it and patches on a leather jacket by which you can recognize this woman or this man is a member of the Hells Angels. This is a good example of a mark of identity. You can clearly see this guy is a Hells Angel. If you don't see it, well. Such marks help to identify the institution within a wider society. So this is just a person with tattoos, but he's not just a person with tattoos. You can recognize he is an Hells Angel. You can identify him as such. Yeah, he has a mark of identity that clearly illustrates he is a biker and he is specifically a member of the Hells Angels. And they identify this person. So you see identity, identify, mark of identity. And here you see identity again. So what symbols do is they identify something, a person or a location by which you can clearly recognize, okay, this person belongs to this kind of group. Yeah, identity, identify, clearly shows what it's all about. And they also encourage a sense of belonging. Now, this is a very important concept, idea, that's very important in social studies and also in sociology. When studying human beings in groups, a sense of belonging is why people want to belong to a group. Yeah? So if they have a mark of identity, like the Easy Riders Curaçao biker gang, yeah, if you are riding a bike and if you are wearing a biker jacket with patches on the back, showing to which biker gang, which biker group you belong, you get a feeling of a sense of belonging. Ik denk papiamento, nostra llama is the key, sentido di pertenencia. You have a feeling of pertenencia. You have a feeling you belong to a group that is bigger than yourself. You have a sense of belonging. This is where we belong. Yes, this is my place. El sentido de pertenencia. Es que está muy importante. Pues, guarda nombre y concepto bom. Yeah? But not only biker groups have this sentido de pertenencia. Going to church and attending a ceremony, a ritual in the church, also, and when you feel at home, this also gives a sense of belonging. But also being part of a baseball team or a baseball organization, also when it is something you like to do and when it's something that you feel at home, gives you a sense of belonging. So church, being part of a biker group, or being part of a baseball organization can provide a strong sense of belonging. And the papiamento word for this would be the sentido de pertenencia, which is very important. We humans, we people, we are an animal that really feels at home in groups and has the longing, a a need to feel at home. Sit in a casa, de un grupo grande. Y nos recibe parece que un sentido de pertenencia. We continue. Besides symbols, we also have something else that is important, that's ritual. Ritual is very important for us. So an organization is an institution, a formal social group, secondary social group, and rituals are very important for us. Ritual is, for instance, raising the flag and singing the anthem of whatever country. Yes, so there are actions like singing the anthem during a basketball team, playing for your nation, and singing the anthem. It can be receiving an askruisje, like we call it in the Dutch, and a cross, ash cross, during the moment in the year that it happens in the Catholic Church. And some people in Curaçao receive the askruisje. They reinforce the values of an institution. So when you receive an askruisje, you reinforce being Catholic, believing in God, believing that Jesus died for your sins, believing in the Ten Commandments, being part of a larger Catholic community, and so on. Reforça. They reinforce being part of a wider community that is bigger than you alone. And the word in Papiamento for this would be reforça. They reinforce being part of a group. And they also reinforce the values of this institution, and this institution being the Catholic Church. Yes, and they make that stronger. They reinforce the values of an institution. Yeah, they were strong before, but a ritual can reinforce that. And it might involve gestures, like the pastor giving the ash cross from ash, words or even music. For instance, when you are in a courtroom and the judge comes into the courtroom, the officer said, all rise, and you rise out of respect for the judge. This reinforces the respect for the institution. This reinforces the moment, okay, the judge is coming, and the judge is a person of authority, and we're now going to listen to his or her verdict. The requirement of people in a court to stand up when a judge enters is an example of a ritual. In this case, that you can see in the corner of the sheet, the ritual symbolically, it's a symbol symbolically expresses the recognition, reconocimiento of the judge's authority. The judge speaks verdicts. He punishes someone who has something wrong, a criminal or otherwise, and we recognize that he or she has authority by symbolically standing up. Yes? So the word symbol and recognition and ritual, those are very important words here. The ritual recognizes that the judge has authority. Ja? In Hollandes nos vista erkenning da un riconoscimento grande by a judge. Yeah? It expresses, it shows symbolically that you appreciate the judge and that you respect and that you recognize, reconoce the judge's autoridad. The word in papiamento for this would be expressa. Yeah, so keep that in mind that you know what the word expresses actually would be in papiamento, and that you also know its meaning, significación to express. Yeah, and this expresses this symbolically, yeah, and it symbolically expresses the recognition of the judge's authority. So in all of these cases that we just shown is that the symbolism has meaning. It is an expression, it's an action of something deeper. It has a deeper meaning. So if you stand up when the judge comes in, or if you receive a cross of ashes connected with your Catholic religion or your Catholic faith, or you sing the anthem during a very important football game or basketball game, like you can see there, or an important baseball game, this expresses your connection to your nationality, your respect to your nationality, and your match. That is important because you represent at that moment your nation. In this case, these are American baseball players. And also raising the flag is a symbolic action that expresses, that expressa bo reconocimento para o país de Corsao. E importante sia, Pablo, the importance for you of the nation of Curaçao. And it's an expression of Balornan values. It's an expression of Kikita importante, Pablo. It's an expression of what's important to you. Well, the exam tips. Yeah, we're now looking at the following. Yeah, the characteristics of an institutional organization. We're now paying attention to those. So look always at the post-it with the exam tips. That's always a very important clue to what's going to be in the test, the assessment, or even the exam. So keep that in mind and always look at the post-it in your book. And what were the key points of this paragraph? The word institution can also mean organization, such as a school, a church, a sports organization, or a religious organization, like I referred to the Ash Cross and the Catholic Church. And these organizations often seek to maintain and develop, desarrollo, the norms, mores, and valornan the sociedad. Yeah, what I've talked about. So keep that in mind, that everything we've learned also comes back in the key points at the end of this chapter, and mainly in this paragraph, point 7 and point 6. Institution can refer to an organization like a school, an educational organization, or the church, a religious organization, and they transmit the norms, values, valornan, and the norms to the wider sociedad, the sociedad grande. I hope you found this video helpful and that you can connect it to outlining the characteristics of each type of institution. We talked mostly about this in these last two videos. If you have questions about the topic of the institution, please ask them below or during class. If you didn't subscribe that, please do that below. And if you have improvements to what I just told you, or you think, okay, your pronunciation was really off, I'm always open for you to improve my pronunciation. Tu cante palabra nanding papimentu mit a I hope to see you during class, and have a nice evening, afternoon, and morning. And for now, I'll say goodbye.